So the whole experience that I shared with you in my previous video about the 3 comments that I heard, and how the last one, the very factual one, because it described my experience, my immediate experience, was the one that really did it instantaneously. That's what I would like to build on. So this whole experience, this whole thing only confirmed what I've experienced as a certified trainer of nonviolent communication while facilitating many, many leadership development programs where I used nonviolent communication and taught this to leaders and board members from companies all over Europe. So years of practicing, listening has taught me one thing: when you name what is going on for the other person, when you really make that explicit, that's what makes you create trust and connection instantaneously, period. Because the other feels heard, feels seen and appreciated. And they not only hear that they are appreciated, they experience it, okay? So when Tara named my experience, she, as an expert, of course, knew exactly what I was going through physically and also mentally. And in most of our daily lives, none of us really knows that much in detail about what goes on for the other. No. And the good news is it doesn't matter. You don't even need to know. It really, really doesn't matter whether you know or not. The experience shows that the very fact that you try to guess what is real in the moment for the other is already enough. This is an entry point, and it shows that you care. The result, again, is that the other feels seen, feels heard, feels and experiences this as being appreciated, and feels cared about. This immediately leads to trust. The other one opens up and shares even more, while they can trust that you care enough to listen. So I just want to let you know that from my experience as a leader, this is not only something very practical for you to keep in mind, but it is something that you can practice on a daily basis. Now, the orthopedist, with her expert knowledge, knew exactly what was going on. As a leader, no, you don't always know. And instead, this is the good news, you as a leader only need to focus on 2 things: on feelings and on needs, okay? And here's how you can practice. First, start noticing. When you're talking to someone, instead of speaking from your perspective as a default mode, perhaps, you can pause and shift your attention to what might be going on for the other right now. And you can ask yourself, where's the spotlight right now? Is it on me or is it on the other? And you can now practice guessing. So specifically empathic guessing. You can try to name a few feelings that you guess, not know, right? That you guess that the other may be feeling around a certain situation. And if you're interested, of course, in building your feelings vocabulary, which I recommend, send me an email and I will definitely send you a list of feelings that helps you navigate this feelings territory, okay? So once you've found 2 or 3 feelings, ask yourself, what do these feelings now point to? You know, because with feelings, it's a little bit like a gasoline gauge, which is pointing to a full or an empty gas tank. And it's the same with feelings, kind of, you know, they clearly indicate whether something you care about is fulfilled or not. So when our needs are met, we have so-called positive feelings. And when our needs are not met, we have so-called negative feelings. So here's an example. So imagine one of your direct reports was hoping to be promoted, but for some reason, for good reasons, you chose someone else instead for the position. And now you are kind of sensing that this is hard for them to accept, and you're not sure, but you kind of feel a tension between the 2 of you now. And you could, this is just an idea, you could approach a conversation like this. Hi, I noticed that since my decision, something has been shifting between us. And, I really care about my relationship with you. So that's why I have taken some time to ask myself what might be going on for you right now. And I have a few guesses. Would you be willing to listen to me? So at this point, you hope, of course, that the other person says yes. And you could continue. Some of your guesses could sound like this. Are you perhaps disappointed? Feeling number one. Because this promotion seemed like the perfect acknowledgement for all the hard work that you've been doing. Are you perhaps frustrated because you just didn't see it coming and you would have wished for more transparency about the process and also maybe more consideration for your specific role in it? Do you perhaps feel impatient because you would like to know more in detail why you weren't chosen? And would you like more clarity, perhaps, around the next steps in your career altogether? And are you wishing for some support and even some encouragement? So you might be getting a sense of, I've been using feelings and needs, feelings that point to certain needs that the other person may be experiencing as less met and fulfilled as they like. Okay, so finally, you can ask whether your guesses were close to their reality, and if they are now willing to help you understand even better, okay? In a meeting, for example, based on what you hear and observe around you, you could also start by jotting down some feelings, some needs on a piece of paper. You don't have to even speak them out loud. And if your guess is, for example, that one person in the room seems nervous, maybe insecure, just notice, how does this awareness of what might be going on for them emotionally, especially, how does that affect you? So these are just a few hints and tips and practical pieces for you to practice. And I look forward to maybe some of your comments, maybe some feedback on your experience, and let me know if you would like for me to send you a list of feelings, maybe a list of needs even, and maybe you are interested in going deeper. Thank you so much.